Pastor Liz here. I have been loving this Big Fish series so much. There are so many lessons that we can learn from this story. We have already learned that the choices that we make don't only affect us, but they affect other people, and that God is always willing to give us second chances, but we have to listen to Him. Today, we find out that Jonah finally made it to Nineveh. But what will the people think about the message that God has for them? Let's go ahead and grab our Bibles and open up to Jonah chapter 3. Okay, so let's look back at where we left off. The big fish had just spit Jonah onto the shore after he had spent 3 days in the belly of the big fish praying and talking to God. Jonah 3:1. Then the Lord spoke to Jonah a second time. Get up and go to the great city of Nineveh and deliver the message I have given you. Jonah 3:3. This time Jonah obeyed the Lord's command and went to Nineveh. The city was so large that it took 3 days to see it all. Jonah 3:4. On the day Jonah entered the city, he shouted to the crowds, 40 days from now, Nineveh will be destroyed. The people of Nineveh believed God's message, and from the greatest to the least, they declared a fast and put on burlap to show their sorrow. When the king of Nineveh heard what Jonah was saying, he stepped down from his throne and took off his royal robes. He dressed himself in burlap and sat on a heap of ashes. They must turn from their evil ways and stop all their violence. Who can tell? Perhaps even God will change his mind and hold back his fierce anger from destroying us. When God saw what they had done and how they had put a stop to their evil ways, he changed his mind and did not carry out the destruction he had threatened. Jonah finally learned his lesson about obeying God and did what he was supposed to do. Great job, Jonah. And guess what? The people of Nineveh listened as well. I bet that's something that Jonah never expected. I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Pastor Ruben. He's got a fun object lesson about our lesson today.
Thank you, Liz. Well, I have another cool way to show you what it means to follow God. And in the Bible it says that God will direct the steps of the godly people. See, sometimes when we follow God, we're not sure what to do next. We get confused. And that's exactly what happened to Jonah when he went away from Nineveh. I have this Slinky. Let's pretend this is you, and the goal is for you to go from the top of the stairs all the way to the bottom. And see, when you follow God, you might know that that's the direction you want to go, but you just don't know how to do it. So let's go ahead and try this and see if it works. That's amazing. See, when you let God direct your steps, you are going to be able to accomplish pretty much anything, but you have to trust. Just like eventually Jonah decided to trust God and went to help the people of Nineveh in just a whole community. All right, well, let's go ahead and send it back to Pastor Sarah and see what the craft is today.
Hi guys, Pastor Sarah. I love that object lesson with the Slinky. And what a great way to show us that when we follow God and we follow His direction for our lives, that everything can be pointed in the right direction. So I have a great craft for us that's going to remind us to keep our eyes focused on God. So here's what you're going to need. A paper plate, a marker, we call this pipe cleaner, and a brad. It's a fastener that we're going to use. So if you haven't guessed it yet, we are going to make a paper compass. So first, we're going to take our plate, and with our marker, we're going to put north on the top, south on the bottom, east on the right, and west on the left. So it'll look just like that. Then we're going to take our arrow. Actually, before we do that, you guys can go ahead and decorate. All right, once you're done decorating your plate, we're going to take this pipe cleaner and we're going to put our brad through it. And then we're going to put it through our plate. And I'm going to take these ends here and just point them down so it'll look like an arrow. Just like that. And we're going to attach this on the other side by fastening it. And then there you go, our own paper compass. Now the point of a compass is to remind us which direction is north. And so our north should always be Jesus. And so this compass is going to remind us to always keep our eyes on Jesus. So let's head over to Pastor Kara and see our memory verse for today.
Thanks, Sarah, for that awesome craft. I cannot wait to do it with my kids. Now, I love this week's memory verse. Ruben talked a bit about it when he showed us that awesome slinky trick. It is from Psalm 37, verse 23. The Lord directs the steps of the godly. He delights in every detail of their lives. That is such a great reminder that we can be at peace, that God knows the steps that we are going to take and He will help us stay on track. But it is also a good reminder that if we don't keep our eyes focused on Him, we can veer off that track, and that's when bad things happen. Let's take Jonah, for example. When he ignored what God asked him to do and went off the path, he ended up in the belly of a whale. No thank you. But when he was obedient to what God asked him to do, he not only saved the entire city of Nineveh, but he also brought all of those people to God. What an awesome lesson. Let's go back to some worship until we wrap up for the day.
Let's worship with Brighter.
Let's sing. You shine brighter than any star in the sky. Your light shining through the dark of the night. Jesus forever. I find all that I am in your love, love, love. You are with me in every step that I take. Your love for me. You have called me by name, Jesus forever. I find all that I am in your love, love, love.
me.
In the chaos, when I'm far away, I can hear you. I'll never be the same. God, you're calling out my name, 'cause you love me. God, you lead me when I've lost my way. You'll never leave me, never let me stray. When I call you, God, you won't delay, 'cause you love me, 'cause you love me. Forever I will lift my voice. Forever you will be my choice. Forever I will stand for you. I'm giving you all of me. I'm giving you all of me. I will follow in your ways, 'cause your promise, no, it never fades. You're right beside me, you're never far away, 'cause you love me, 'cause you love me. Forever I will lift my voice. Forever you will be my choice. Forever I will stand for you. I'm giving you all of me. I'm giving you all of me. Out of the darkness into your light, my heart surrenders to your design. You gave me purpose, so I give my life. I'm giving you all of me.